Hey there, it's Matt Fouch. This is Fouch and Friends, an interview series with your favorite gospel music artist. Today we're talking with Michael Booth, and we had a great conversation just about music, singing, all kinds of wonderful things. We got an update on his family and how they're doing. If it's your first time here, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you'd like to listen to my music, I do have new solo music that's coming out in just a couple months here in 2024. So make sure you're looking for that. If you like bass singing, this music may just be for you. So let's get to the interview with Michael Booth.
I'm cleaning up my mess here as we go. Yeah, this is a good way to start an interview.
Yeah, let's do it.
So I, and we can explain more about this, but
Yeah,
I sing Booth Brothers and I sing solo dates, and
right.
it's turning into more solo dates than Booth Brother things, which we'll explain. But the thing is, we all use these ear monitors,
We
right?
do.
And I keep, and then sometimes we fly. Right. So we're traveling with this set of gear, traveling with that set of gear, and then sometimes we fly, which is a different set of gear. And these things are very expensive, and you can lose them or forget them.
Yeah.
So I did something that is very expensive, but it also worked. It's worked for 10 years with my sunglasses. All right. 10 years ago, I bought
Hold on,
three
hold on.
really
Hold on. I
nice.
get my pen. I want to write this down because I've lost some sunglasses over
Yeah,
here.
write this down. This is important. Everybody, you see, you think you should buy cheap sunglasses because you lose them. Well, some people, but if you spend a lot of like $100 to me was a lot for sunglasses. Okay, I thought that was a lot for sunglasses. Okay, so I bought three pairs. I bought one for my wife's vehicle, one for my vehicle, and one for the tour bus. All right,
Hmm?
I have not lost any of them in 10 years.
Okay.
Okay, because you're not taking them from place to place. So I'm applying the same thing with my ear monitors. I already had one set, but I got two more. I got a fly set, I got a solo set, and I have a Booth Brothers set that stays in separate places, and they
Nice.
shall not move. So come back in 10
So,
years.
yeah.
we'll,
So buy
we'll
something
see if it
super
works.
expensive, buy
Yeah,
multiples of them, and put them in different places.
that's
All right.
right.
I got it.
You got it.
Expensive
Got it.
bunches of them in random places.
Yes.
Got it.
Hey, sorry about the lighting in here. I know my eyes are shit. Here, let me turn my head around here for the
Oh, that's.
there you go.
Have you been rehearsing something on the piano today?
No, I'm not a piano player. This is just for me to find notes to work on what I'm in my little rehearsal room.
Okay.
So best way to explain it is after how I've been singing 30 some years, my
Yeah.
singing my body has told me, look, you're either going to sing correct or I'm not helping you anymore. Okay, you're on your own.
Yeah.
And so you realize when you're out there on the road, go, 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 how much bad habits you can pick up.
Hmm.
Well, body gets older and doesn't help out as much to compensate. You have a choice. You either decline or you figure out how to do it right. And so I have been investing big time over the last several years, and it's starting to pay. It took a while. It's hard to overcome bad habits
Right.
because you
Right.
because you trust them. And
Uh,
you can practice all you want, but you get in front of people and it's time for you to hit that note. Are you going to trust it, or are you going to just do what you always do? And so I'm in that transition period of life of beginning to trust it. And so I do all the work here, and
nice.
it's a lot of work.
I don't do
Yeah.
any work regarding my voice.
Well, you're a bass singer. You cheat. You guys,
I,
you guys get better with age. It's
yeah, and we
ridiculous.
we were saying that before I hit record. Like I chose the part of the quartet or the part of the group that is like, hey, the older you get, typically the better you get until a certain point. But yeah, you happen to
Yeah.
choose the other side of it, where normally it's easier when you're younger and it gets harder as you get older.
Now, this may sound a bit extreme, but you know me, singing tenor in a Southern gospel group, is vocal suicide.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. It really is. It's usually about a 10-year run where you can do all the big stuff, and then it starts turning into a lot of compromise. Now, there have been guys like Brian Free and Chris Allman that have just kept on going,
Yeah.
So there are exceptions, but for the rest of us, we start wearing down a little bit.
You know, it,
Arnie Haas is a good example. He's done
yeah.
phenomenal through the years.
That's
Yeah.
right. You know, it's funny you say that because normally when we hear of artists that are having to take some time off or they have to quit singing for a while, and it's because of if it's because of voice purposes, um,
Hmm.
nodules or stress on the vocal cords or whatever, normally it is the guys that are singing the higher parts, whether it
Yeah.
be a higher lead or the tenor part. You don't normally hear of a bass singer or a baritone singer being like, "Hey, man, my voice is shot. I've got nodules or whatever." Is like, I'm gonna have to step
You
out.
guys love it.
It's normally not us, man. Because here's the thing,
That's,
we just go, "Ugh," and
yeah.
everybody's like, ooh,
Oh. Well, what was hard for me is the Booth Brothers stuff is so built around finesse.
yeah,
And finesse, in my opinion, is the first thing to go with it because that requires the most control. It's not blasting a high note. That's kind of second. I mean, everybody can scream a good while, but my register of my voice changes in one of the registers around a E, F, F sharp, in between full voice and mixed voice.
yeah,
And I live right there with the Booth Brothers, and then I'll hit endings on A's and B flats and sometimes some C's. But I live right there where my voice intersects with a register,
yeah,
and
transition
that's
spot there.
tough. Getting
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hell,
That
have we successfully bored your audience yet?
yeah. Hey, they're just here. Here's the thing that I love about doing these interviews. And to me, one of the great things is when we do the Zoom, man, we just get to see people in their natural habitat, right? Like
Natural
house, in their
habitat.
car, whatever it is. Yeah.
Right.
And the other thing I love about it is it's just we're just talking about, I mean, regular life. Like we're not chatting about
Yeah.
all the, I guess you would say, fluff that sometimes you
Yeah.
get with interviews. I mean, we're just being real people talking about real life. And what I love about this first little part of it is just simply, hey, this is the behind the scenes for you vocally. People a lot of
Yeah.
times will see us step up on stage for an hour, 30-minute set, hour and a half, whatever it is, but they don't have any clue the during the week stuff of kind of what some of the artists have to do to make sure they can do that hour on stage. And this is one
Yeah.
of the things you have to
And
do.
for me, it takes a lot. For some guys, it just comes out. They're just so natural, and that's the whole key, man. It's very similar. If I can make a analogy, it's when you read scriptures and you're overwhelmed with scripture and you're trusting the scripture, life just comes out of it, abundant life, if you will, but clear head, clear thinking, hope and joy in the midst of difficult times. It just happens because that's in you and it comes out. Well, the same thing vocally. The more you can get the body out of the way, the better the vocals are. And I'm a high anxiety person. All right, whether people
No.
know that or not. I know, surprise. But I have a lot of anxiety. Anxiety makes the body tense. All
Yeah,
right.
that's right.
And so that tension over the years, the best way to describe it is I started driving with my foot on the brake and the body was tight inside. Now I try to make it look loose on stage with the humor and the body, whatever, but inside, and you don't even realize it. And so that's what I'm trying to overcome. And I'm oftentimes on stage, when I'm coming to something that might be difficult, I'll picture myself sitting in here in this very safe. We talk about safe places. This room is the reason for this room is to mess up so that you can recognize what went wrong and fix it,
Yeah.
right? And
Mess up so
so
you get better.
so I Yeah, I love this room. And this was expensive too. Everything is expensive.
Yeah, it is. You know, you mentioned the anxiety and stuff. I will say this real quick, talking about the vocal differences between the bass singer and the tenor
Yeah.
singer. Um, I've known bass singers. I mean, I've been singing for 20 years now, so I've known bass singers over the years that psych themselves out mentally, and they don't
Mhm.
hit the low notes
Yeah.
because they
Yes.
the anxiety or the concern that they're going to miss it or whatever that mental is going on. And so it
Yeah.
reminded me of uh, I think it was J.D. Sumner that was talking about London, Paris, and how
Yes.
that he was saying that London would be the
The
best
greatest.
bass singer
Yeah.
if he could get out of his own head, and
Yes.
just chill, relax, and just let
Yep.
it all out vocally because I never met the guy, but apparently he was in his head more often than not when it came to low notes and bass singing and stuff like that. So I
Yeah.
think that is some comparison there for sure.
Yeah. You're 100% right because my dad sang with London Paris in the Rebels Quartet
Yeah, that's right.
two times when he joined the Rebels in was it 68, I think, 67, 68, and then London, the Blackwood brothers, and then he came back in the 70s for a short time, and Dad was there. Now, Dad, he was I don't know how I did not get his confidence because he was the guy who was give me the mic, let me have it, I got it, I'll do it, you know. And I
Uh,
remember him, he just told me this the other day. This is with London in the group when he just joined. He was hitting some D's and E flats in rehearsal. And one of them said, well, that's fine, but you can't do that. You won't be able to do that live. And Dad heard that and went, yeah, think so? All right. So, because in his mind, and this is great, this applies to everything across the board.
yeah,
If you can do it here, it's the same note.
right.
It's the exact same note. It's just the body preparing there like it did here.
Yeah,
And so he told himself, well, now I can sing in rehearsal. I'm going to do it live.
yeah,
And then it turned into, and here's an interesting subject. Let's dive into this one. We're in gospel music, and we have this amazing message that we're not supposed to take credit for. You don't share God's glory. But at the same time, you have to balance this confidence of wanting the mic and wanting to sing your song and wanting to hit that note. It's a real battle sometimes. You know what I'm talking about?
yeah, yeah,
And so that confidence can't cross over into arrogance.
yeah.
But boy, you got to have enough of it to do the job.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's hard. Okay, I'll just speak from the bass singer standpoint. You know, the whole point, I don't want to say the whole point of the bass singer, right? Because surely it's about the blend of the quartet altogether. But at
Yeah.
the end of the day, if you don't go down and hit a note a couple times in a concert that makes the subs rumble and make the room shake, then it's like people are like, oh yeah, they sounded good or he's sounding all right. But if you make them feel it, then they're like, whoa,
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
great, you know?
And
And
you
so,
do. And
and that's, and to me, that's kind of the thing is like, you want to do that, but you can't, I don't know. For me, it's been, I can't make that the feature of the entire thing of me being on stage. It's got to be
same.
wrapped up the total presentation has to be wrapped up into what we're trying to accomplish, and that is share Christ honoring music with them to encourage and uplift them and share Christ with them through the music that
Yeah.
sounds good so that they're
Yeah.
willing to sit there and listen to it and take it in. And if all I do every song is just try to show off and bottom out on a bass note, then you're kind of missing the point to what you're saying there to
Yeah.
an extent. Yeah, I get you and I'm with you on that.
Well, I sang with a guy named Joseph Smith, not the Joseph Smith, a Joseph Smith. No, no.
Yeah,
And I think he summed it up great. He said, at some point, the person who bought a ticket has to look up there and go, yeah, I can't do that. That's why I bought a ticket to hear it.
yeah,
Because if they can do it, some people could argue the nuances of that, but I think the point is made. If you have a skill set that is worth someone leaving their house, driving who knows how long, spending the money on the fuel, the gas, the food, and the ticket. You need to do something for them that makes them go, wow,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And,
That's right.
I'm talking about the art side of it. Now, see if I can say this. You go to see Peg McCamey. Now, vocally, she's not in the rafters or in the bottom. She's right there. But there's something about her. By the time it's over, you go, wow,
Yeah.
something got to me. So it's not always the extremes, but there's got to be something, a God-given talent that
Right.
is exceptional, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Man, I want to shift a little bit here real quick. I
Yeah,
think we could talk the whole time, but we got about 30 minutes and we're probably about
yeah,
halfway through it. You know, life has moved on the last few years. Some artists are doing more dates, some are doing less dates.
yeah.
Where have y'all, as the Booth Brothers, landed here in the middle or going towards the end of 2024 after all the changes of the last 4 years? I mean, where have y'all landed with how many concerts you're doing, where you're going? I know you got Buddy and Jim with you, and you guys are out running there, and we see you from time to time doing concerts. So share that part of it with us.
Yeah, I don't think landed is quite the word yet. We're still searching for an airport.
Okay. Okay.
Now, I would say this: we've kind of got the wagon circled on the reality of the way the world is now, because after COVID, it changed drastically, and then Ronnie left, and then Paul left, and I brought in guys that I want to sing. These are the guys I want to sing with, and they've heard me say this a million times, but I understand that when I brought them in, they do not have the amount of time to sing a full schedule like we used to anymore. Okay, so I thought I could get us to sing this much, right? Or get in the frame this much.
Yeah.
But the problem is, we couldn't logistically land the dates perfectly without, like, for example, if you wanted to do 100 dates, well, that's fine if you can do them in 25 weekends, because that leaves the remainder of the year for them to do their thing. Well, the
Yeah.
problem was you couldn't get all four every weekend
Yep.
to match up perfectly. So it would end up being two here, two on this weekend when they were supposed to be off, and I can't do that to them. So what we found out is that full schedule it's just not possible. The problem with that, you get into an economical threshold that you've crossed over that doesn't work anymore to run a bus. And then when you can't run the bus, now you've just made yourself even a more difficult position of between a Friday and a Saturday. How far can you go? And so you just complicated it even further.
Yeah.
You feel the stress?
There's a lot. There's a lot. I get it. Yeah.
There's so much to it. And then the other part is, the economics of what each date has to produce. When you shrink the amount, the cost goes up on it, and not every promoter can afford that. So what we're doing is we're not even advertising it, at least not now, but we're just reducing the dates to a very minimal amount. I think this year was 50, next year maybe 30, 35. And honestly, I mean, I could see it going down into the 20s. And they'll all be pretty special. They'll
Yeah.
all be really, really special concerts. Um,
Yeah.
and we maybe even to be able to bring out somebody that quit a while back. We might be able to bring him out a little bit.
I don't know who you're talking about.
I can't remember. I remember Quitter, but I can't remember the name. But I can see where that will be something that's very special to the
Yeah.
whole package. In the
Yeah.
meantime, we're all pursuing our individual works. Buddy with Hope for the World, and Jim and Melissa, and then I'm growing this solo thing, which I'm not really a solo singer. It's more, we just came up with what did we call it? Humor, hope, and song.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I don't think gospel music needs another solo singer.
Right.
I
Yeah.
It's never really supported many because the audiences like groups,
Yeah.
but I know they love to laugh, and I know they love to be encouraged, and I know they still love singing, So I'm putting that hybrid type of a program together. So if
Nice.
someone asks me to explain what I'm doing, you just have to come out. See, well,
Well,
I don't know. I don't know how
I
to
mean,
explain it.
do you think that they would go for a bass and tenor concert, like a bass tenor duet concert?
Well,
You said they like
back when I
groups.
had a
I
real
mean,
job, yeah. Well, here's the truth of it. Back when I had a real job, there was a guy in marketing, and he said, I came up with some idea about something. I don't know. He said, well, here's the thing, Michael. Everything will sell. You just need to find something that sells a lot.
I don't
So,
know that idea is going to work. Just a bass singer
yeah,
that's going to sing her
I'm
own
not
thing.
sure. Yeah, we can try.
Man, tell the folks, man, what's up with your family? What are your boys up
Uh,
to these days? How are they doing, man?
they're grown up, man. Austin is 16. He's a senior, and he'll be a senior this year. I can't believe it. Jonathan is 25. He is studying cloud computing right now, which I don't understand, but he told me the kind of money he can make as soon as he gets to a certain level. I'm like, do it.
Go get it, man.
Christian, yeah, Christian, you've spent so much time with him over the years. He runs Sound Booth Brothers, but that's obviously fading quite a bit. So he is now in charge of production at Centerpoint Church in Hendersonville, Tennessee, and he is with a tremendous group of the staff that is. I'm so thrilled. So he's still producing, still doing all the stuff he does, and comes out. He'll be out with us this weekend. Matter of fact, we're in your bus this weekend. We're
Okay, and
we're
the
leasing
Legacy
your
5
bus.
bucks. Nice.
Yeah, sure enough.
And your wife
So
doing good?
so
Everything
we're
good
doing
there?
well. She she is. I reminded her once again what a blessing I am. She,
We have to remind our wives every now and then how special we are.
yeah, are all women that forgetful?
Yeah, yeah, right. Man, let's chat real quick. We've had some fun memories over the years. All
Yeah.
the different events, the Jubilee concerts that
No.
we've been a part of. Some highlights from Jubilee Christmas has the videos. We did a couple videos. We had some fun moments in that. Of course, all the years at NQC and working for the different promoters and the multi-day events and everything. Um, there's a few things that always come to mind for me, but one of the stories I always heard Scott talk about was, I believe this was you, and correct me if I'm wrong,
Probably.
taping a Bible shut.
Ah,
Um, do you care to indulge us a little bit on that one, if you
well,
remember the details?
yeah, this is quite a legend story, and let me just qualify this by saying, when you're younger, you do things that you would never do again.
As you
So I think
mature, right? Yeah, as you
as
mature,
you
you wouldn't do
mature.
these things.
So we were in, I think it was Flint, Michigan, Booth Brothers and Legacy 5. We had done sound check, and just Howie and I were standing up on the stage at that time, Scott Howard. And at that time, Fowler, I used to watch him. He'd have a microphone in his hand, and then he'd flip a Bible open, just flip like that. And he had it, I think, marked with the ear thing, and then he would read it. And so as an MC, my first thought is, wow, wouldn't that be bad if that thing didn't open? That What are you going to do? Because your hands, you're both
Right.
full, and I'm like, oh, that'd be great.
That'd be great if it happened to somebody else, but not me.
Yeah, someone else.
Yeah.
So I said, Howie, you have any tape? And he looked at me. He said, yeah, I believe I do. You know how, yeah. And so he brought some Scotch tape, and so I took Scott's Fowler's Bible, and I opened the first leaf, and you know how it's just black, the first black leaf. So I took that one, and then the back black leaf, and I took three pieces of tape and taped them closed. So the leather leaf would open, but nothing else would. And then
I did not, hold on, let me say, I didn't know you got Scott Howard involved in this. I thought this was
I'm
all
not
you.
well. I'm not sure how he knew what I was going to do with the
Okay.
tape.
Okay. All right.
To be honest, honestly, I'm not. I probably waited till he left. You
Okay.
know, I honestly don't remember. But but the greatest part was, I don't know if we sing first or second, but I was at the back wall waiting and waiting and waiting because, and this is a big old place. I think it was a 1,500, 2,000 people in this room. And so I'm standing directly at the back of the room, just waiting for this great opportunity. And so Scott has his mic and he turns around and grabs the Bible and he goes, flip, flip. And the beautiful part is, for he and I both, time stood still for just a moment because
Mhm.
as an MC, you got to decide, all right, do I want to address this or try
Yep.
to fix it or avoid it? It's milliseconds,
Yeah.
but in your mind, it's like you pause. You just hit pause for me and like, now let's see, I have this option, this. And so I knew that was going through his mind. He said, let me tell you something, folks. Let me tell you that Michael Booth has taped my Bible shut. It was
That's
me.
awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. You know,
It was,
he typically Scott will just typically he land in that moment when he's thinking through that, what you were just talking about, he
yeah,
typically lands on just confront it. Just lay it out for
yeah,
what it
I
is.
do too.
That's normally where
I
he
do too.
is. Instead
Yeah,
of trying to explain it away or try to fix it
yeah,
real fast, he normally just is like, all right, let me just tell you all what has happened here. And
yeah.
just lay it out there. I mean, I love it. That's
Ah,
great.
funny.
Some good stories over the years. And I think that's one of them. Now, when you said Scott Howard, I started thinking, I don't think Howie would typically be involved in something like that. So
No,
that's why I wanted to ask you because that kind of was like, I don't know if Howie would have jumped in if he knew what was going to happen.
I probably not. And honestly, it is funny, but and I'm not trying to be sanctimonious and legalistic, but I would not do that again. I just wouldn't mess with the word like
Yeah.
that. At the time, I thought it was funny. I wouldn't do it again, but
Yeah.
it's Lord, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, so many great stories.
There's
And
other ways to get guys.
that's right. Great memories. You mentioned your dad earlier. I believe I saw something on social media, something special y'all are putting together. I mean,
Uh,
are you talking about that right now, or do you want to?
yes,
Yeah, share a little bit about
yeah.
that.
Thank you for bringing it up. It's a new album is being mixed as we speak. And what this album is years ago, oh, probably 15 years ago, Ronnie and I bought the masters, the recording masters of our dad, most of his career with the Rebels Quartet. I think we got all of them. Most of those were made on 2-track, where the instruments and the vocals went down at the same time on stereo track, and that's it. But there were uh, 3 or 4 albums that were done on 8-track. So we had 4 vocals and 4 instruments. And so modern technology, we took 2 of the albums, pulled 9 songs off of one and 2 off of another, and we lifted my dad and my uncle's voices off of those recordings. They were 30 and 32 years old.
Cool.
And so they had to I had to take him to Hilltop Recording. Johnny, what's his name up there? Johnny took him, baked. I don't know how he had it, but he had to put them in an oven and bake them and get the tape back to a place where it could be and you only get 1 or 2 passes. That's it, and because the stuff is so brittle from over
Right.
the years. And so he got it into Pro Tools, and then from Pro Tools we extracted Dad and Uncle Charles's voice. My
Wow.
cousin Daryl Tony, who's mixing the album right now, now they we record the click tracks. It's a machine and it's perfect. Well, they did not.
Yeah.
So Daryl had to take their voices and put it to a click track and kind of chop them. It didn't take much. They were pretty close
Yeah.
to being in almost perfect time. And so they got it on what we call the grid. And from there, I put a new band on it. I played drums. Gordon Moat played piano. We got Brent Mason, the great Brent Mason, on guitar. It was just a great band. Steve Malden put new strings and horns, and then Ronnie and I added our voices with our uncle and our dad. Where the bass singer would sing it solo, I would either sing it. I sing those an octave up,
Okay.
um, and where the baritone at the time would have sung something, Ronnie would sing those. And I stacked Dad's voice. And the fun part, Matt, was trying to match my voice to my dad's tone because we're similar but different. And man, that was so much fun. And Ronnie stacked Uncle Charles, and so it's we also got I'm afraid to bring this up because I don't think I had your number at the time. Yeah, so um, the only people we could afford was Pat Barker and Richard Sturban.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. So
yeah, I don't think I ever received a text or a call about sending in a quote for that.
yeah, that's funny. You're kind of starting to break up now. Can you hear me? Now they each did one song each.
That's cool.
We we thought about making the whole thing quartet, but Dad said one of the things he wanted to know what it would be like to sing with Ronnie and I now.
Yeah.
And so I'm telling you, man, it sounds like the album was cut today. It's
Wow.
so
That is
it'll be
awesome.
we'll have it for release at the National Quartet Convention.
That's cool. And hey, if it flops, as far as
Yeah,
sales are concerned, you'll have a great memory piece for your family.
that's
No, I think
oh,
I think that
I
will
called
do
Pat
great for you
though.
guys. I think it'll be great.
Yeah,
I think people will love it.
it's fun. We took a picture of when they were uh 20, 26, 28, something like no, remember 28, 30. I couldn't find the exact picture. And then we found a picture of Ronnie and I when I was 28 and he was 34.
Okay.
And the way the graphic art people did it, Jake, the guy who sings with Brian Free Insurance, baritone
Yeah,
guy,
Jake. Yep.
he did the artwork. And man, they made it look like it's a picture taken today together. Yeah,
That's
it's
awesome.
really it's fantastic. So
I'm excited
thanks
to
for
hear
asking.
it. Yeah, dude. I'm excited to hear it. I think folks are gonna love that. If you're watching and you're ready for some new old music, old new music,
Right?
whatever. Yeah, yeah.
Old new music.
Yeah, yeah. Check that
It's
out. It's great.
basically it's the Booth Brothers singing with the Booth Brothers. That's what it is.
Yeah, so cool. So cool.
Yeah.
Man, we got just a couple minutes here left.
Yeah.
Any last words you want to share with the folks that are watching today?
Well, I just want to say I appreciate people sticking with me, man, over the transition with Buddy and Jim. People have been so supportive, and now they're coming out to I think more curiosity than anything to see what I do on my own.
It's like a
Um,
circus.
you know what? It feels like it at times, and I'm enjoying honestly, Matt. I'm enjoying the challenge because it is very different to be on your own. And I think I needed that. It's fascinating to me how God works, how He can move your heart from one work to another. That doesn't mean you're done with another work. It's just He's birthing another,
Yeah,
and it's come at a good time for me. So
that's
I'm
awesome.
grateful. Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, I appreciate your time today. I know the folks watching appreciate the time that you've given out of your practice time in the
Yeah.
room you have there, so you could share a little bit of what's going on in your life and share a little bit of your heart and update with your family and the music that you guys have. So I want to say thank you, and I know these folks appreciate it. So thank you much.
Thank you, Matt. Thanks for letting me get in front of them. I appreciate
Yeah.
it.
And thank you all for being here again and watching these interviews and videos with your favorite gospel music artists. And we'll see you again. But before I let them go, Michael Booth on social media, Booth Brothers on social media,
Yeah. Michael Booth
boothbrothers.com.
online,
Yeah,
boothbrothers.com, all that stuff. They'll find us. Yeah.
yeah.
And
You
there's
can find us.
plenty of imposters too on Facebook too. There's multiple me's out there.
Yeah, yeah. Make sure it's the right
I gotta
Michael
figure it out.
Booth.
Yeah, if they're asking for something, it ain't me. All right.
Right, right. Yeah.
Right.
Thanks again, man. Appreciate it. And we'll
All
see
right.
you next time.
Hey, I'm gonna send you a song now of from the album.
Okay. Are you wanting me to sing on it or just want me to listen?
Oh, you know what? Let me pray about it and I'll get
Okay.
right back to you.
All right.
All right. Thanks, man. Bye.